Hello my lovelies, hope you're all well. Thank you for watching my channel. Well, this is a reading about the full moon, which is coming up on the 19th of February, and it will be in the sign of Virgo at 0 degrees. So this February full moon is called the chaste moon, C-H-A-S-T-E, not running after somebody. So a chaste energy is innocence. It's that childlike ability just to live in the moment and to enjoy the now. So as we're building up to this full moon, it can feel like there's a part of you wants to burst forth. There's a great crescendo which will happen on that actual day, but it isn't just for the one day of the full moon. It's a build up towards it, and then it's a gentle falling away the other side of it. So there's a feeling of, as I say, this excitement of anticipation of something coming into your life that's going to change things quite dramatically. You know how kids are when they're expecting something like a birthday party or a sleepover or a play or something that they're doing at school, and they get really, really excited about things. Well, this is the energy that we all need to embrace, is even though you might not know exactly what it is, you get that feeling of, well, I just can't wait, I really can't wait, how many more sleeps, so if you've been unable to sleep, that can be a sign of this energy wanting to burst forth from you. So it's not just an internal thing of like bursting out of their chrysalis, it's also externally things will start to show themselves to you. So as we live like a child, with that sense of awe and anticipation and excitement, then your energy will be at a level which is above your sort of mundane self. So and that adult self or the ego self, which can worry about everything and everyone, and what would people think of me, and if I did this, how would I survive, or if I gave up that, how would I survive? So it's allowing that childlike energy to come to the fore, and also being aware of looking at kids around you. So if you don't have kids yourself, you might have friends or family around you who do have them, and just watch them 20 minutes or so and just see how they are just in the zone. They're in the now. They don't care about anything else that's going on. They're not interested in Donald Trump or Theresa May or anything else like that. They live in the moment. So when we can bring ourselves to living like that in the zone, that's when things start to happen. Miracles happen, manifestations happen, and that is what we're trying to work towards with this full moon and leading through the rest of the year. So Virgo is a sign which is ruled by the planet Mercury, and Mercury is all about communication. Mercury's fast, so it's stuff, information coming at you really, 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 really fast, and it's being able to absorb what it is that you need and to discard what you don't need. There is a saying at the moment which says we are drowning in information, but we are starving for knowledge. So as the moon starts to move up to become full, that is its peak, that is its crescendo, that's its culmination, and then the energy will fade down to the new moon and then back up to the next full moon coming along. So we have a good month of leading us into something which, like I said, wants to burst forth from us. So it can be a creative project, it can be you literally wanting to give birth to a child or give birth to an idea or a dream or a goal. But the Virgo energy also is about the details and taking your time and looking into things carefully, so being discerning. So there's a lovely juxtaposition here. There's a need for balance, a need for taking action, but also a need for once the idea pops into your mind, you've got this sense of something want to burst out of you, but it's then finding that momentum, finding that rhythm, so you don't run out of steam, you don't lose your stamina, you don't lose your focus. on what it is you want to manifest or bring into this world. For a lot of people, there's this energy is to do with that, the chaste moon, how we view love in our lives, love relationships. So it is that innocence of a new relationship. When somebody comes into your life, you can't see anything wrong with them. And it's just this lovely warm glow, warm fuzzy glow that you have around yourself and the other person. So it's also recognizing that whoever comes into your life is a mirror. So what we're putting out there is what we attract in. So if you've been working on yourself on a deep level with regards to how you love, how you show love to people, how love is shown to you, and working with it now in that sense of innocence, it's not about being hoodwinked or fooled into letting somebody into your heart who is a bit of a bad boy or is going to mess you about and cheat on you. It's a very different sort of energy that a lot of you have been waiting for a very long time, and it's with that sense of anticipation and excitement. It's knowing that you're drawing the right one in this time, and it's a very, very different sort of energy, a very different level of communicating with somebody else. Now I've chosen some oracle cards for you, and it's lovely how they've all shown up and how they all link together. So I don't know if you're going to like this one, but anyway, it's a little angel card of patience. So that little angel's sitting there knitting. So a part of you might be saying, oh God, I've waited long enough, how much more patience do I need? But when you are creating something, and she's maybe knitting a jumper or something, it's going to take a bit of patience to create the whole thing and to follow the pattern and to make sure that you've got it right. So sometimes when we've been following a pattern for a very long time, it can actually not be the pattern that is best suited to you. And I watched a lovely Pam Ayres story yesterday where she was talking about her dad's swimming trunks, which her grandmother had knitted for him. So some of you may never have heard of this, but back in the sort of 1950s, it was only a short time after the Second World War, but there was still things were hard to come by. People knitted everything. And it was a new thing, and people had these knitted swimming trunks. So she said they were a very snug fit on him, and he was very handsome, her dad. And he strolled down the beach looking really quite dapper. But when he came out of the water, because wool can absorb an awful lot of liquid, the crutch of these swimming trunks were down by his knees, and you can just imagine. Well, I laughed my socks off thinking, goodness me. So the point of the story is that when you are working towards something, be very clear about what it is, the pattern that you're following. So I don't think anybody in this day and age would wear a pair of knitted swimming trunks. They did them for ladies as well, and they did the same thing. They fell to your knees when they were soaked in the sea. So have a look at the patterns that you might have been following for a long time. So that we have running through the family, and so if Great Auntie Flo remained a spinster all her life, and she had eye problems, it may have been that Great Auntie Flo was very disappointed in love in her day, and she may have had her heart broken. So she didn't want to see love come into her life after that. And that pattern could run through the family because it sits in the DNA and it's passed on and on and on down the line. So when we recognise the family traits or the family patterns, and then we have insight, looking inside, you can have that aha moment and think, oh my goodness, that's a family pattern, that's a family trait. I don't own that. I'm not claiming it, it's not mine. And so therefore you're doing a service to your whole ancestors of deleting that negative pattern and being able to say, right, I'm going to start a new one now. This is my pattern. It's brand new. It's going to have completely different colours in it. I'm going to use totally different tools, and I'm not going back down that road wearing that soggy old knitted swimming costume. So it says here, insight is the eye I use to see below and beyond the surface so that I can fully appreciate the context and meaning of everything. So I've given you a sort of comedic story about patterns and such like, and it's how you can laugh at it. You can laugh at some of the family patterns and think, oh yes, well, you know, my grandmother always lost her keys. You can never find them anywhere. And a part of that pattern with her could be sent down the line through me and, you know, my offspring, etc., etc. So when you see a family pattern, whether you see it as a negative or a positive, when you use your insight, looking inside and seeing it in a totally different way, it might make you laugh, it might make you cry, it might make you angry. But whatever emotion comes up is a trigger for you to say, I can continue with this pattern because it suits me and it feels comfy, or I'm going to discard it. And when the moon is full, because the moon doesn't have its own light, the only reason it is full is the sun is shining directly onto it. So the sun at the moment is in the sign of Pisces, and when the moon is full, it is in its opposite sign of Virgo. So Pisces and Virgo are opposite signs. So when the sun shines directly onto the moon, it illuminates. So whichever sign it is in will illuminate a part of our lives. So this will be looking at, what I said about the Virgo stuff is detail. It's instigating things. It's communication. And the Pisces bit is our dreams and our deepest felt longings. So when the moon is full, things will come up to the surface and we'll be able to see them in a very different light, literally in a different light. So with this build up and build up and build up to this culmination and crescendo, as things burst forth from you, and the bursting forth is more to do with the heart energy, as you open that up and allow that love to shine on everything, all the issues in your life. So when the moon is full, a light is shining on issues in your life. When your heart is open, it's a bit like the sunshine, because the sun rules the heart energy, that opening up and you shining a light on issues in your life. So you've got an external source of light, which is the moon and the sun, and you have an internal source of light, which is the endless flame. Now, I've chosen two animal cards from the medicine card. Well, I was going to choose one, but two popped out, so I thought, well, we'll have both of them because they both seem to apply. And as I say, because of it being the full moon, you do have these two energies of Pisces and Virgo kicking along together. So the first one is antelope, and it's number 37. So 3 and 7 add up to 10, and 10 reduces to 1. So 1 is the new beginnings, setting off on a new path, setting off with a new vision of life, setting off with seeing life in a completely different way. So it'll be about discarding that old overcoat, which is the family pattern, the knitted swimming trunks, and putting on a brand new pair of Speedos, or you know, a nice little two-piece for the ladies. So the antelope energy is looking at how you take action in your life. So if you've just been sitting knitting, okay, the slippers on and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, antelope says, get off your bum. It's time for action, time to take action. And but not just because you feel you must, or rushing into anything, because that's not what Antelope is all about. This is more to do with having a plan of action, being very clear. And again, that's the Virgo energy. So planning something carefully and then taking the appropriate action. So with the little mini card, there we are. It says, time to respond, take action, no procrastinating, decide and do it now. So that brings us back to the child's energy. The childlike energy is doing it now. So they don't think about it, they just do it. And they don't procrastinate unless they really, really, really don't want to do it. So there's a sense of discernment, being very clear on what it is you want to do, taking the appropriate action, but having done the planning beforehand. So, and as we move up to the energy of the full moon, it's like a spotlight. Excuse me. So if you've been in the dark or fumbling around trying to find answers, this energy will shine a spotlight right onto whatever it is you've been dealing with. And if there are things that you haven't wanted to look at, that you've shoved under the rug, some of that can come to the surface as well, which is the Pisces energy. So that's the 12th sign of the zodiac. Also looking at the possibility of others deceiving you, and or how we can deceive ourselves by accepting what is, because we don't like change. We don't like to feel uncomfortable or out of sync with things. But the energies around us now are about getting out of that comfort zone, looking at the old patterns that we've been wearing, playing, thinking, believing, and discarding them and letting them go. And an awful lot of manifestations don't happen because of us being fearful of change. But there's so much that wants to come to you, new things, new patterns, new people, new groups, new relationships, a new relationship with yourself as well. So if you've been fighting against who you truly are because you've been living the old family or ancestral patterns, this is about breaking free of that. So the other animal card is a lovely butterfly. Number 9 is about endings and beginnings, completions. So realizing that you've come to the end of a cycle in your life, and also the moon cycle. So every month there'll be a completely new cycle of the moon. It usually takes about 28 days to go around the earth, and each time it'll move into a new sign. So you can be looking at within the next month big changes happening, and also within the next 9 months. So 9 months is a gestation period. So if you are thinking of giving birth to a child, that's one energy you can be looking at. But also if you want to give birth to a new idea or a business, a career move, you want to write a script, write a book, paint a picture, join a dance class, anything like that, that will, given time and practice and patience, shift you into a very different movement, how you move in your life, where you place your feet. Because the butterfly is about a metamorphosis, so it's changing from literally one being into a completely different one. So with a caterpillar, it plods along and munches on the greenery for a while, and then something extraordinary happens, that it goes into a pupa, cocoon, and part of it might think it's died, it's gone into a little coffin. And then after a short gestation period, it completely transforms into a totally different creature. So the first one being the caterpillar, it can only move along the ground, and it transforms into a creature that can fly. So the energies around us at the moment with this full moon is how we take those opportunities to die a certain death, which could mean no longer living the family pattern or believing the family pattern or playing it out in any shape or form, because that no longer applies. And the little butterfly card says, you are changing, emerge into your new state of being and honour your transformation. Now, some of this, when we do make transformations in our lives, it can be scary. It can be disconcerting because you've been so used to living your life a certain way, and then something comes along which can upset all of that. And if we don't go into victim mode, telling everybody how dreadful or awful it is, and rather saying, you know, it's really exciting, I haven't a clue what's going to happen, but I feel so geared up with this, it feels like something wants to burst forth from me, and I really can't wait, it's going to be amazing. So when you take that sort of attitude, like with, you know, that childlike kids thing, when they burst through the doors, hey, I got the part of the lobster in the nativity play. Lobster? Nativity play? See what I mean? But according to the kid, there were lobsters around Christmas time at the birth of the baby Jesus. I think that was in the movie Love, actually. But that's the sort of thing, you know. And so you don't want to dispel the kids' excitement and say, well, actually, there weren't any lobsters there. But just, yes, that's amazing. That's really, really, it's very funny. But hey, isn't that wonderful? And the kid is so excited about wearing the costume of a lobster, nothing else matters, does it? So whatever it is you wish to transform into, however small, however large it is, I'm hearing, excuse the language, sod whatever anybody else thinks. All right, so if somebody out there wants to have a gender change, transformation, sod what anybody else thinks. If that's going to make you happy and bring you a new sense of who you are, then go for it. If you want to up sticks and move to another country, go for it. I've done strange, weird and wonderful things in my life. I was invited to a Greek island for a week. So I went and I decided to stay there, and I stayed for 4 months. I didn't have any money, I didn't have any accommodation, but the universe supplied, and a lady asked me to dog sit and house sit for her while she went to the mainland. And during that time I bought a piece of card from the newsagent. I drew my hand around it, and at the top I put in English hand massage, and at the bottom I asked someone to write in Greek hand massage. And I went down onto the beach. I sat under a tree, and that paid for me to live there. I found an apartment, and it was mostly the locals came and had foot massage, hand massage, and that paid for me to stay there for the 4 months. So I was supplied, I was looked after. So if something is giving you a nudge to have an adventure, break out of whatever emotional restrictions others have put on you, but also, you know, we've allowed it, and go and do something crazy like that, you'll have a blast. Just completely trust that the universe will sponsor you. The universe will give you everything that you need. My best customer when I was on that island was the chief of police. Now, he could have thrown me off because I didn't pay any taxes or anything, but because he had like his neck was so tight, I was giving him neck massage 2 or 3 times a week, and that paid for me, again, eat out every night and pay for my rent and other all good things like that. So whatever you feel is might have been knocking at your door for a while, but you haven't bothered to open it. The energy around you now, and as I said, you're never too old. You are never ever too old. Give it a whirl. It's only your belief system that can hold you back, so change your mind. Now, here we have a lovely card, and these are goddess cards. Now, because the moon is like goddess energy, that's the feminine, beautiful goddess energy, that's why I've chosen these. And we've got the beautiful Cordelia. So you see she's ringed with flowers, and also the moon is ringed with flowers, and her hair falls into a beautiful waterfall. So that's the end, and on her forehead there's a crescent moon. So this beautiful moon energy around us is embracing us with this sense of femininity. So whether you're male or female, the female side is the dream, the vision, the goal, and being able to manifest that. So rather than leaving it as a dream and feeling regret, just take one step, make one decision, and then the universe will say, oh, okay, look, they're doing something about this. Right, let's bring this in for them. That's how it works. So rather than you thinking, oh my God, it's far too much for me to do, I couldn't possibly do it all. Well, no, you couldn't. But once you take one little step, make one little decision, take action with intent, and the universe will supply everything that you need. It'll just start to show up. The right people, the right situation, the right resources will show up for you. So long as you don't keep letting that doubt creep in, or have I made the right decision? Of course you've made the right decision. Whatever it is you've decided to do, and it's just adjusting every day, letting something new come in to support that. So Cordelia says, you've been indoors too long, go outside and get some fresh air. So for many of us, when you're in that sort of fug, you can sit indoors and feel sorry for yourself and will it ever change? And she's saying, get off your bum, go outside, whether you're by the sea, in the woods, by the lake, by a river, out in nature, and just see what comes to meet you. And what shows up could be very surprising. And we always get a message from the universe in some shape or form. So whether it's some bird song, or whether somebody's walking towards you and they've got a colourful outfit on, or they've got an animal, a dog with them, or such like. Always something will be triggered off when you notice what you notice. So rather than just noticing something, bring your heart energy into it and send out a silent thought. If I notice this, what will happen? What will occur? And then something may come out of left field. So I found a lovely book about moon energy, and there's a little invocation you can say to the moon for this full moon. And it says, "O Mother, I ask that you now infuse me with the innocent joy of chaste moon energy. Wipe out what is old and bring forth the new. Eradicate boundaries in all that I do. Clarify issues as never before, so solutions are simple. Let creativity soar as goals meet inspiration, and I'm all I can be. I ask as your child, bring this magic to me." So I hope that's been of interest to you all, my lovelies. Do leave a comment. I'd love to know how you're all getting on with things. So until next time, thank you for watching. Lots of love. Bye for now.